multi-comfort. So so just to give you a short introduction about multi-comfort and about Saint-Gobain. First of all, about Saint-Gobain. Basically, our company was founded back in 1665, so we are having about more than 350 years of history, and the company was founded by King Louis XIV and Colbert, which is his finance minister, as a part of the economic plan to reboost French economy, and it was called Royal Manufacture or Royal Manufacture of Glass, located in the village of Saint-Gobain. Basically, this is the start of Saint-Gobain, and today the company is one of the top 100 industrial groups in the world, and also one of the top 100 most innovative companies. And if you look at what is our belief, or what we propose to ourselves, we want to help to create these great living places and to improve the daily life, taking into account two main pillars. On one hand, you have the end user. You have those which are going to use, live, work, or learn in those spaces. And on the other hand, we have the issues of sustainability and everything which comes with the better mobility, with the resource efficiency, with the demographic changes or the climate changes. And the idea is to basically put together all these two segments and to try to come up with the best solution. That's why you will find in the task also these two pillars, the comfort and the sustainability. You need to think in linking these two pillars. The multi-comfort program, which started more than, back in 2004, takes into account this idea and looks at them through different angles of climate, zones, culture, and different types of building. When you speak about multi-comfort, you can speak about multi-comfort for a residential building, but you can also speak about multi-comfort for office building as well as for a hospital or for a school. And the system and the solution should take into account safety, sustainability, and energy efficiency. And these three should be taken into account at all stages of development. Now, if I go one step further, what is this Saint-Gobain multi-comfort program? Basically, it's a holistic approach. Yeah? You need to take into account all the factors. You need to combine together energy efficiency, inhabitants' comfort, and accessible costs. And you need to take a look at the different comfort dimensions, and I'm going to speak about them. You need to take into account the thermal dimension, and the thermal dimension doesn't mean only to have warm in the winter. It also means to be comfortable during the summer, or it can mean first to be comfortable in the summer if you are going to design something in Dubai. It means acoustic comfort. It means that if you are going to deliver a residential project like we are discussing now, and this residential project will be placed at 100 meters from autobahn, the people inside should be able to sleep and not hear all the time the traffic. You need to have a visual comfort. You need to ensure that sufficient daylight comes inside. And last but not least, you need to be sure that the quality of the indoor air is as high as possible. These were the main 4 pillars of comfort, and this can be furthermore segmented in even smaller ones. But these are the main 4 pillars that you need to take into account and you need to think about when you are designing. Needless to say, these factors, these dimensions of comfort, they are influencing one another. Any or most of the gestures that you are going to do from architectural point of view, answering to one, will most likely affect or will most likely have an effect on the other ones, or at least on one of the others, if not several. I'm going to give you a very assuming, allow me to select my color. Assuming that this it's a section through an exterior wall. Please excuse my drawing talents. But if this is my section through the exterior wall, and you decide that you are going to increase the energy efficiency by insulating with a layer of insulation. Let's say that you are going to insulate and you are going to place a layer of insulation like this. Well, the first thing that you should think about it, because it will happen, is the fact that your gesture just destroyed, or well, maybe it's too much to say destroyed, but it has a direct effect on the quantity of light that will reach this room. Because if this is the sun, before the insulation you have it through here. After the insulation, because of the fact that your insulation comes here, you have less sun coming in, and this, it's something that you need to think about it. This is an effect which comes. Of course, you have increased the thermal performance of the building, but what about the acoustic behavior? What about the visual comfort of it? Is this clear? Okay, guys, one by one. Let me take it easy. So, Michael, the railway running through the south of the site, what is the use for that train? Michael, you are referring to the pictures from the you are referring to the old pictures or to the actual site situation? At this point, just to give you the overview, at this point there is not a problem with the exterior noise within the area. So no problem linked with the exterior noise or with the noise coming from exterior, but the acoustic problems are generated by the noise coming from the building itself. Furthermore, the question. Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah, sometimes I'm losing the network. Yeah, great. So I was saying that today the acoustic issues of the building are more linked with the noise coming from the building itself, so the noise from the neighbors above or to the right or to the left, than the noise coming from the exterior. So don't think about that. Okay. Good. Let me go further. So when we are speaking about the design, and when we are speaking about the multi-comfort, then we have some things that we have to take into account: design, thermal comfort, and as mentioned, winter and summer, noise, light, air quality. Then you should think that whatever you design should be easy to run and maintain. If it is too complicated, then users tend to have a problem with it. Last but not least, you should think about sustainability. If you are going to build something in, let's say, I don't know, Germany, and you are going to bring all the materials from Chile, then you are going to have a slight issue linked with sustainability. And furthermore, you need to think in material. I'm seeing it. I'm correcting it. It's probably something due to the signal here. So whenever it's popping up, I will be aware of it, and I will switch back. So going further, just to give you some reasons why we are speaking about these dimensions of comfort. Examples. If you are going to work in an office where there is too much heat, you are going to have 6% less productivity only because of the fact that you are exposed to too much or to heat in excess. If you are in an office, open office, many of you have experienced it. It's also the same in schools. It's also the same in all kinds of places. In about 60% of the cases, the workers are distracted by too much noise. So instead of focusing on what you need to do, you get distracted, you don't do the job, or you don't learn, or you do not answer to the test the right way because too much noise coming from outside or from inside. Again, speaking about the air quality, if the ventilation is poor, if the CO2 content is too high, and in some cases it's extremely high, at least 10% reduction in the performance of work. Or if you are going to take somebody and allow him to have some light, you are going to have an 18% increase in productivity. So these are figures which are also at the foundation of this holistic approach of the multi-comfort. One affects the other, and all together they are affecting the way that you are living, learning, working, or recovering yourself in a hospital. And all of these are directly designed and influenced text. So just a few slides. We were speaking about this earlier. You can see here, for example, Not going to enter too much into the detail, but this here is the relative performance measured in percentage. Here it's winter, here it's summer, and you can see how this performance, for example, in the summer behaves. If it is too warm, it is decreasing by 1, 2, 3, 4%. Now, it might not look a lot, but just imagine that you are, due to the design, the office workers, instead of being at 100%, they will be only at 95 during the summer, or I don't know, during the winter at 98. So it's already a huge amount, a huge cost that you need to think about. That's why when we are speaking about thermal comfort, it's not only making some kind of energy efficiency, and I don't know, having reduce of the bill, heating bill or cooling bill. It is also this one, but it's also the effect which you have over the performance of the employees. Furthermore, I'm going to go directly, for example, for the CO2 level. This is a mistake here. It's not the visual comfort, but it's the air quality. Please excuse me. So it's air. We are speaking about air quality, and you can see here, taking into account the CO2 concentration, what is going to be the performance of the people under those circumstances. Now, let me ask you a question. I know, I've noticed it. How many of you have experience in university when you have lectures very late in the evening that you almost fell asleep in the class? Anybody? Well, at least Ivana. Okay. I have experienced it plenty of time in my university. Well, there is a very simple, well, there are several reasons, there might be several reasons, but one of the reasons is the fact that basically, your CO2 concentration increases, and from a good level, which is here of 600 parts per million, it will increase, and at 2000 or 2500 ppm you will be in this area, and your body, your mind, your will be affected by this CO2 concentration, and well, you know what happens. And it's not like you can always open the window. If, for example, you are in Astana and it's minus 35 degrees outside, or like now in Bucharest, you are having we are having minus 6. To open the window and to close it, it's quite complicated. And it's also the same during the summer. If you have 40 degrees outside, then you are not going to be very happy to open the window to make some ventilation. Any questions? Good. Each of these different dimensions of comfort, we'll treat them in a special session along this week. We are going to speak about the effect of the light. We are going to speak about sustainability. I'm only going to give you maybe 2 or 3 more slides just as a principle. So when you think about multi-comfort, you think about something, you think about an approach which is designed to minimize the energy demand, yes, but which takes into account the bioclimate design. So basically it's according to the area. It brings this with the envelope together, and it will ensure optimal thermal comfort during winter and summer, which will decrease your energy consumption, will provide excellent acoustics. You will ensure permanently a high indoor air quality. It is up to you to decide how. You will provide visual comfort, taking into account the daylight autonomy, and we will see in about 3 days, I believe, in the training about daylight, what it means daylight. It will ensure fire protection and the long-term durability, and it's going to be also sustainable. And when you think of sustainable, you have to think environmental, economical, and social factors. So our task with this competition is to challenge you to take an example as real as possible and to try to come out with the best possible design. The figures that are there are to be looked upon as targets. As if you are able to reach all of them, it would be perfect. If you decide to make compromises, that's also okay, because you will be responsible for your own design. The question is to explain your choice. The way that the judges will analyze it, that's a different story. But whatever you do, you need first to explain your choice. If you do not explain the choice, the judges will not understand it, and they will definitely not be able to appreciate it. So it's not a good option. The moment that you explain your choice, they can either like it, either dislike it, but at least they understand and they can form their opinion. If you feel that you need to make compromises, if you say, okay, I want to have the best air quality, and I will not look at all, or I will sacrifice some of the other things for the air quality. Fine by me, it's okay, it's your choice, it's your statement that you are making. The judges, I don't know, they can, again, they will appreciate, they will perhaps, some of them not appreciate, whatever, they will make a selection. But if you come and you say, okay, this is my choice, then at least you have this very clearly from the beginning. And make sure, as I already pointed out, that whatever you prepare, when you go there and you explain your project, either by internet, either if you do it in a documentation, either if you do it in a presentation in front of somebody, make sure that the statement that you are doing, it is clearly expressed, and whatever you present sustains that statement. If you speak about multi-comfort and you do not say anything about acoustics, that will be strange. Just an example, or, well, I don't know, maybe an input, if you wish. With this, I would like to end. The concept itself, the multi-comfort concept, it's a construction concept. It's not a product or a solution. It's a concept that takes into account the building itself. It can be applied to residential and non-residential, or to new or renovation. It works as principle everywhere, and we have proven, because we built plenty of construction in almost any climate you think about. You have the flexibility to choose your own construction material. You can do it in light, in wood, or in concrete, or in brick. In this case, when we are speaking about renovation, you are slightly having less choices, if you wish to say it this way, when we speak about the existing building. But for whatever you build on top of it, or if you decide to demolish and rebuild something, the decision is entirely yours. If you choose a material which is not very common in Spain, that's a different story. And you should think also about this, and it was already mentioned in our discussion, it should be within reasonable cost. Yeah? It should be viable from economical point of view. The main message here being the fact that we are not going to ask you to calculate. It would be very complicated. But when you do your design, please question yourself if whatever you did, it is achievable within reasonable cost. Within reasonable cost, taking into account the social, economical realities of the area. If you are going to say, here I'm going to make an investment of 100 million euros only for these two buildings, it might be a little bit too much. So you have to question yourself. You yourself have to be the judge of what you are going to do. Try to be at the same time, well, successively if you want, the architect, but also at the other end of it, the people who will receive your project and who afterwards should implement it. That would be my last comment for this first online training. Any questions? Okay, guys. So, great. See you tomorrow. Have a nice evening to all of you. See you tomorrow for the next session. And thank you for being today with me here. All the best and have a nice evening. Ilian, you can shut down the room. Thank you so much, guys.